Hey everyone, welcome here. I'm Maika, and in this video I'll explain how you can support an anxiously attached partner. And before I get into this, I just want to say, of course, anyone with an insecure attachment style needs to learn how to show up for themselves. That's their part of the work. At the same time, you can do things to make sure that their relationship needs are met. That's what falls into your sphere of responsibility and agency. Here are 5 ways you can do this. Number 1, be predictable. Anxiously attached partners fear abandonment. They grew up in homes where they couldn't rely on consistent emotional support and often made similar experiences later as an adult. They fear that your love is unreliable, maybe also that they aren't worthy of love. This unregulated anxiety pushes them to overanalyze your behavior, checking for signs of abandonment. And it can also push them to keep checking in with you to see if you'll respond, if your love is reliable. Inconsistency, unpredictability, a back and forth between warmth and distance bring an anxiously attached partner to a lonely inner place. They'll interpret this as rejection and abandonment and spiral. Unpredictability increases their anxiety that your love is unreliable and their fear of abandonment, whereas predictability reduces their anxiety. So what you can do for them is offer a steady form of support and engagement. And I didn't say excessively high, I said steady. So it's not about being their therapist or providing constant reassurance so you don't have time for anything else. This is about avoiding oscillating back and forth between extremes of warmth and closeness and then distance from one day or week to the next. This means if you're busy, let them know. Text them, I'm really busy today. I'll call you tomorrow. If your plans change, let them know in advance instead of disappearing unexpectedly. Find fun, regular routines of moments for connection, like saying or texting good morning, having meals together, saying or texting good night. Find a regular rhythm also to go on dates. These routines, this predictability and consistency is a way of showing up to take care of your partner's needs. And that helps them move to secure attachment. People move to secure attachment when their needs are met, both by themselves and by their partner. When your anxious partner's relationship needs are met, they can relax and experience emotional stability. And that then again frees up more headspace for them to do their own part of the work. Number 2, validate their emotions. Your partner grew up in an environment of chronic emotional invalidation. This means that as a child, when they had a natural, healthy emotional response to something, their parents, more often than not, dismissed these feelings, minimized or ignored them by saying stuff like, "Stop being so sensitive. I had it much worse when I was your age, so stop crying. I don't have time for this right now. Why would you be upset? You don't have any reason to be." In your partner, this created shame about their emotions and themselves. They were conditioned to believe that something's wrong with their emotions, that their emotions are somehow too much, bad and wrong, and ultimately that they are too much, bad and wrong. You can support your partner by creating a de-shaming environment. You can do this by letting them know you're worthy and lovable. I accept you even when you get it wrong. And by validating their emotions. Validating your partner's emotions means letting them know that you understand their emotions and that they make sense to you. Like, I get it, you're frustrated. What's going on? And if you end on a question like that, you'll give your partner's emotions a bit more space in case they need it. And this can seem counterintuitive. If you've got a partner with big emotions, why would you want to make more space for these emotions? Wouldn't that mean they will keep getting bigger? The opposite is true. Your partner's emotions had to get this big when they were a child to be seen and heard in a minimal way. And if you now make space for their emotions can calm down. Whereas if you try to avoid them, they will keep getting bigger. Emotions can calm down when they've done their job, and that's when they've been seen and heard. You might wonder, but how am I supposed to validate my partner's feelings if I don't even know what they are? I'm not a mind reader. And that's okay. Then you can say, I can see that you're experiencing an intense emotion right now, maybe even several intense emotions. I don't know what they are. Please tell me. This is also emotionally validating. Validation also requires us to put what we want to say and problem solve in that moment aside for a while. That's okay. You can come back to that later. Timing is important. Your anxious partner won't be able to contribute to effective conflict resolution if their nervous system is in an alarm state. No one can do that. And by validating their emotions and making space for them, you help your anxious partner calm down and become open to problem solving a bit later. Number 3, address the attachment level. You might sometimes feel like you don't want to make things worse, so you stop speaking and create some physical distance between you and your partner. With an anxious partner, that is what makes things worse. To them, it'll feel like abandonment and like you don't want to be in the relationship. At the same time, anxious partners often have difficulty with coming to an end in conflict. They'd rather keep fighting because at least that means you're doing something together. Instead of opting out or continuing the argument about who forgot to do what or didn't do a thing right, shift gears and look at the attachment level beneath the surface level of your conflict. This is what the conflict is actually about. Unmet attachment needs. Not knowing if your needs are important to your partner. Not knowing if you'll be heard and considered. Not knowing if you're respected and appreciated. Shift onto that level and clear up the conflict on that level first. I love you. And creating emotional safety in our relationship is more important to me than this argument. What can we do when we continue this conversation so that it feels safe for both of us? I want to figure this out together. I'm right here with you. At the same time, I don't know what else to say right now that would be helpful. Let's take a break and come back to this later. I need to think. I'm committed to coming back to this, though. I won't leave you alone with this. You can also address the attachment level in situations outside of conflict. Make sure that the attachment meaning between you two is something that you talk about and put into words. You're really important to me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for you, and we'll get through this together. I want to feel close to you too, and I want to make sure we stay connected. I love you. Another way to send these kinds of messages is to express appreciation for your partner, their strengths and qualities, and everything you love about them. You did a great job with this. I love your sense of humor. I'm proud of the way you're handling the situation at work. You have such a great way of making people feel comfortable. I appreciate how thoughtful you chose this gift for me. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. Number 4, express yourself. Sharing what's going on in your inner world is another important way you can contribute to emotional closeness. This includes both feelings and thoughts that are easy and comfortable to express, and the ones that are harder and more uncomfortable to express. If you're quiet about your experience, your anxious partner will feel left out, like you're hiding something or like you're not interested in being connected. When you talk in the evening, think of things you can share from your experience that day. Make sure to not only talk about what happened, the events, but also about your experience and feelings. What did it feel like to go through those events, to make that experience? How did what happened make you feel? And if you lack words for that, look up words for emotions on the internet. And of course, this starts with paying attention to your feelings throughout the day in the first place. Express yourself even if you don't know what to say. Right now, I don't have any more words left. I'm not trying to keep you in the dark. I just don't know what my feelings are right now, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's helpful for your anxious partner to know why you freeze up if you do. Also, let them know what's hard for you in the relationship and what you need. Your needs and the way you function are probably pretty different from your partner's needs, or at least some of their needs and the way they function. Letting your partner know, talking to them about what you need and what's hard for you helps them be there for you in the way you need it. For example, when I'm overwhelmed, it helps me to be on my own for a while to sort out my feelings and thoughts. It would help me if we could come back to this later today when I'm clear about my feelings. I want to be there for you. Something that makes this hard for me is if I don't know what your needs are. I want you to know that I'm interested in your needs and want to take care of them. Please let me in on what it is exactly that you need. I'm happy to provide it. It's tough for me when I have the impression that you don't see my efforts. It helps me to stay at our relationship work when I see and hear that you see my efforts. Number 5, develop a secure relationship with yourself. When you do your own part of the work, it sets you up to be in an emotional state that then enables you to be more supportive to your partner. It also helps you better understand your dynamic in the relationship and to see how much is my partner being anxious right now and how much am I being avoidant or insecure in another way. And that behavior would probably trigger anxiety in anyone. Gaining awareness of your own anxiety and shame enables you to regulate yourself and prevent yourself from slipping down your shame spiral. It's your own unseen, unreflected, and unregulated shame and anxiety that push you into behavior that isn't helpful for the relationship. When you're aware of these feelings and the unhelpful thoughts they come from, you can regulate yourself, for example, with reminders like, this behavior is not them rejecting me. It's a consequence of their abandonment wound. Them expressing their emotions with big intensity is not because my partner wants to be difficult and hurtful. So far, this is just the only way they have learned to express themselves and make sure they're heard. All the best with this. Till next time, take care. And remember, anxious attachment behavior is a dysfunctional coping strategy, not an assessment of how good of a partner you are.